So, now that you're still here, I'm first of all going to be giving my thoughts about Marlow, and from then on, we can just start the video. Alright, so basically, here's what I think. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about Marlow, some claims that he or she made in her video, and we're going to be doing a little comparison from stuff that I've been through and some stuff that she claims have gone through. So first claim. Marlow claims to have gotten assessed countless times and that she's the most investigated or assessed person within the community.
One of the most egregious examples of this is the fact of the public consensus regarding me being investigated as a top player is that I never have been at all, when in reality I'm probably the most investigated player in tier list history. I've had my computer searched 10 different times through screen shares, including during tournaments and competitive matches. I've even had to play out full competitive matches during the process of some of these screen shares. It's worth noting that nearly all of these screen shares were conducted unexpectedly.
You guys heard everything? Marlow claims to be the most assessed/investigated person within the community, which we're going to be debunking. In front of you guys right now, you guys can see screenshots of me being #1 in Tournament Hub, which if you're an OG, you're going to remember. Tournament Hub/Tournament Central was like basically the place where all tournaments were being hosted by servers like Voltex, La Armada, etc., Needlecraft, and a lot more. And basically, I've got 14 tournaments there, and the only person that even comes close to me is my friend Pabby's, who has 10. The next person that comes close to us has 4 wins, which makes it like an insane margin, right? And not only that, I was first in Leon. They used to host tournaments too. As you guys can see, Coldified was there as well. And I was also #1 in La Armada and in PvP ranked back then in La Armada as well as being #1 in Needlecraft wins as well, and a lot more. So basically, I used to win majority of tournaments, if not all of them. So my win rate was super high, which had gotten me SS like every single time I won. Now I'm gonna show you guys these 2 screenshots of my tournament wins. Again, only in Tournament Hub. If we count everything, I've probably won up to 70 or 80 tournaments. And I'm gonna show you guys the amount of wins Marlow has in that very same server. And as you guys saw earlier, there were people like Hostan and Proper and a lot of other prominent figures within our community that were participating in these events and that I was going up against and beating, which goes to show that these were highly competitive tournaments. I mean, even its role me played in one of these tournaments and actually won a few, as you guys can see. And I'm now going to show you guys a video where, I had to go up against 2 good players, one of them being Kripa, a high tier 2, and I also had to go up against Vexe. When I went up against Vexe, as soon as he knew that it was me, I was playing on an alt account, he was accusating me immediately. And so what I did is, I just told them to assess me. And as soon as they knew that I was Nor, they were letting me know that I'm gonna be assessed right after. And as you guys are gonna see in front of you, as soon as I won the tournament, I immediately sent them my AnyDesk code and offered to be assessed. To which, I passed with flying colors, and I was given my additional win and the prize, which was $15, if I can remember correctly. For now, I'm going to be letting notable players within our community, like a high tier 1 from back then, Bunny, and I'm going to let him give his statement, since he's been with me through it all. And also, because Bunny was also trying to help me to get tested for tier 1 back then. So here's what Bunny has to say.
Hey, I'm Bunny, a retired high tier 1 destroyer community and ranked number 46 among all of Minecraft. I can confirm that Noor is the most screen shared player in the community, having been screen shared in every single tournament he won, including the La Armada ones where he was screen shared up to 4 times in a single tournament.
So let me explain what Bunny was talking about here. So there was a tournament that I once participated in, and it was a 1v1 tournament in NA. And for some of you guys, you may not know this, but I used to main NA, which is why I can play on any ping. And so during the tournament, I was frozen when I was fighting during the second round. They froze me. They screen shared me. They found nothing. They then brought a different assessor when it was quarterfinals, and I was screen shared again. Again, they found nothing. A round prior to the finals, I was frozen again. By the owner himself this time. And he brought a 1.8 assessor to assess me. The price was $15. And the player that I was going up against during the finals was an admin. And basically, you guys can check my other video that I made talking about how I tested for tier 1 several times. This guy was healing himself, but that's not our point. The point is, they assessed me, and this guy kept screen sharing me for like an hour, just for him to literally find nothing. And once he couldn't find anything, it led up to this funny reaction, since he couldn't accept that I was actually legit, and he said that my PC was lying. You guys can just see the video for yourself.
Your PC is a liar.
Besides that, I tried to help Nortis for his T1 back in 2020 multiple times, and I was basically the only one among the T1s who wanted to see him achieve what he deserved. I wasn't biased, but it all came down to Yuvol and Ronin, aka Tryhard, allowing him in. Both me and Tryhard had to agree to let Noor get his T1, but Ronin refused because Noor was being called a cheater, even though there was no evidence against him. He was never caught in a screen share. But yeah, later on, Ronin agreed to let Noor get tested. But he said, and I'm gonna quote what he said. He said he has to fight 4 high tier 2s in their prime to pass, which was impossible back then due to the lack of high tier 2s or them just not being in their prime. And even before this, me, Yuvol, Musab, known as Enses, and Caters tested Noor. After that, Noor kept fighting Tryhard, Novi, even Vexay, and managed to win over all of them. However, because of the corruption back then, he could not get the recognition he deserved. After that, to be honest, I just gave up on the idea of getting him his T1 because I really couldn't do anything. I didn't have the power. And the same thing happened again, but in a different way, with a ban wave, where they had absolutely no evidence to justify banning anyone. It was just a way for Marlow, aka Dangermario, to secure his T1.
The next and last point that I want to bring up is her handcam video. Marlow claims that certain people got praised for their handcam videos, one of them being me. Well, you see, Marlow, I play a game mode that is very basic, Sword PvP. It literally requires nothing. It only requires for you to move and left click and jump reset by pressing your spacebar. And even though it's very simple, I went as far as using 2 cameras, one of them being my phone's, to record the sound. I restarted my PC several times in front of everybody against several opponents. I played on vanilla Minecraft to prove my legitimacy. And I went as far as adding a mouse and keyboard overlay, which pro gamers actually use to prove their legitimacy. And I used all of this and fought the entire tier list, having conceded 0 losses. I even went as far as fighting 7 tier 2s live on stream and beating every single one of them a couple days ago. But you, Marlow, you've made a horrible handcam video, and here's why it's horrible. First of all, you lied about the fights, like as you got exposed by Swipe. Let's not even talk about Swipe right here. You literally made a video showing UHC gameplay when people need to see your keyboard and mouse. They're super important. UHC is a game mode where you can use macros a lot. And your mouse, we cannot even see the side buttons where you can be hiding a lot of macros. You didn't even put in the effort to show your keyboard and mouse overlay like I did. And like a lot of other players do, like Intel and a lot of other people. You didn't even make it seem like you were trying. And now you come here with the audacity and you start talking about how you, quote unquote, tried your hardest in order to make it, seem legit, or in order to show the best angle possible, which basically makes no sense to me, honestly. Also, like Dr. Dona said, like a lot of other people said, Marlow, if you really want to prove your legitimacy to the community, I'm challenging you. I currently see myself as the best sword player. So if you would like to come 1v1 me, we can do it on Mindman, Club, any server you want to do it on. We can do it on. We both go live. You don't even have to do anything. We just both go live. You show your hand cam and face cam, which is not really necessary, just for us to know that it's actually you fighting me, you know? The person that you claim to be. And then, from then on, we go into Club, Mindman, any server really, I don't care, I don't mind. And we both go live with click sounds and everything, keyboard and mouse overlay. And we 1v1 first to 20. Since I was supposed to be fighting you anyways, before you banned me from the tier list, but thankfully I've already gotten my tier in the other tier list. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Marlow basically. She's a super manipulative person, really horrible person. They've done a lot of harm, a lot of bad stuff to the entire community. And yeah, as you guys saw, like I'm sure you guys are already aware of this, a lot of people left the tier list, everybody's retiring, every good player. So MC Cheers is now renamed to Free Cheers basically. Anybody who's still competing there can easily get to the top. All you gotta do is fight alt accounts in the sword tier list, for example, or just fight noobs, literally. And yeah, that's basically about it, guys.
Like Beatles got the babes belly rolling. She thinks she love me, I think she trolling. That girl is a real crowd, please. Small world, all her friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get even. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee.
Came in with two girls look like scribbles in they real clothes. A broke hoe can only point me to a rich hoe. A yellow bitch with green hair, a real weirdo. Black man, yellow lamb, red like dope. They say they cool out, them just came in through the side though. It's so much money on the floor, we buying school clothes. Why you bring a money machine to the club for? And a pint of lean, pound of weed and a kilo. I Euro stealth, pass a hater like a rondo. I upgrade your baby mama to a condo. Like Chapo serving yayo to the gringos. Black Beetle club closed when I say so.
That girl is a real crowd, please. Small world, all her friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get even. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee. She's a good teaser, and we blowing reefer. Your body like a work of art, baby. Don't fuck with me, I'll break your heart, baby. TNG on me, I got